Okay. Is that handled? Go to here. And of course, okay, all that is said and done. Let's actually get on with this. May as well do some exploring. Oh, it's a cooking fire. Ah, here we go, a quest.
Please? Nathan and I had plans to leave Tel Dreloth together. Someone must have found out because the day we planned to leave, I was dismissed from my position. Mistress Dreloth, or Sethiel, I suppose, pushed me out without a chance to see Nathan. She's holding him against his will. He'll be in the isolation tower. The only access is through the lab in the caverns that run underneath. There's a key in the top floor. Thank the eight you came along.
Oh, it's just an ash hopper. To Tel Dreloth. I am enjoying Arcanist. I wonder if I should make my Argonian a werewolf. That should fucking learn you. Actually, you know what? Let me take a look at how much current, like, disposable income. Do I have enough to buy some...
Greetings, my good friend. May luck follow you.
Like, how much would it cost to buy... Okay, so we're still on Ragebound. 15 crates would be 5,000 crowns. Let me see how much cash, how much it will cost. Normally I don't buy crowns. I'll just use the stipend I get from my ESO Plus subscription. You know what? Yeah, that doesn't... That's not too terrible. Like, I should have enough after this that I can just... Like, I can afford groceries and shit after this. Yes, yes. There we go.
Well met, and good fortune to you. An excellent selection. Wabbercat, a bonus reward.
Oh, nice. And what would be in here?
Magnificent.
I actually like that. I'll put that in my house.
An excellent selection. Make a selection to reveal your rewards. This will come in handy. Haha. Your rewards are ready. Ooh, gems! Congratulations! The guards will bring what the cards will bring. Let us see what APOCRYPA has done. Shall we try again?
Got 12 more chances here for something good.
Riddle Thar, a bonus
Oh,
reward.
shit.
These gems can be traded for special rewards in the store.
Goddamn. Well, at least I'm getting some crown gems out of this.
Make a selection to reveal the rewards. APOCRYPA admires your persistence. Exceptional.
What is that mind flayer looking motherfucker out there?
Time for a repeat performance? Your rewards are ready. Most fragrant.
Ugh, good lord. Ah, Jesus. Hello, and thank you for the follow. And the minor heart attack.
Choose a reward.
Oh,
Lovely sweet meat.
cool.
Perseverance is a virtue, my friend. Bright moons, a bonus reward. A favorable sum, a spotless choice. These precious gems can be traded for valuable rewards. Bright moons, excellent. Ha-ha. Look at those gems, quite valuable.
I think this was my last crate.
Yes, those gems, very sleek.
Alright, let's extract some gems here.
It appears you have no crates, my... Goodbye, my friend.
Alright. Ow. Son of a bitch. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't have nearly enough. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. Again, it doesn't really speak to me. No, I know what I want. Let's see. And for my quick slots, drop that in there. Now, let's see, we gotta go this way. Shenanigans aside, we actually do have a quest to do. Yes, yes, I know. You have no... Oh, I thought I was gonna be like, you have mods that are out of date. It's like, yes, I'm aware. My Sky Shards mod is outdated.
There's the main tower. And you can see the isolation tower to the north there.
Alright, settings. Would it be under... There we go.
They're not like the towers back home. But they're beautiful in their own way.
Yeah, sure, if you like fungus. Alright.
Good. Nobody's noticed us so far.
Oh, I can't interact with the bookshelf. Okay. Huh. Somebody is blaring their music incredibly loud outside, and I don't much appreciate it. Oh.
The key is in that chest. It's a spare for when the researchers misplace theirs.
Never hurts to search and loot as much as you can.
Got it? Let's speak for a moment. All right, we have the key. This is going better than I thought it would. And it's strange. Everything looks so different in here without the wards. It all feels so empty. Nathan's protective wards. You know, Sathiel's magic barriers that kept Nathan's half of the tower in isolation. I couldn't cross them at all. They certainly made tidying up a bit of a trial. I mentioned the wards before, didn't I? Sorry. I guess I've been here so long it's become normal to me. Sathiel said the outside world would kill Nathan, and she was working on a cure. But as far as I know, she and her husband were trying to cure the Nahaten flu. He died years ago, when Nathan was just a baby, from the disease they were trying to cure. Sathiel must be sheltering Nathan for fear of losing him, too. She's doing it out of love. That I can understand. But that doesn't make it right. We'll take the portal pad to the cellar. Then the key will get us into the labs. From there, it's just making our way through the caverns to the isolation tower. As long as we don't cross Sathiel, the others will be too busy to stop us. Good question. I've never known her to be particularly combative, but if Nathan's wards were any indication, she does wield very powerful magic. Which she may use to escort us out. Nathan's well-being is a family affair, and the researchers are far more focused on their work. They're tasked with observing their subjects for the slightest changes, so they won't keep their eyes on us for long, anyway. Test subjects for her experiments. Animals, as far as I know. Some of the experiments are rather grisly. I kept away from the lab for that exact reason. I've heard some of these Telvanni use slaves for such things, but Cethiel's not like that. No, and that's exactly what worries me. She's tested no cures on him because there's nothing to cure. He's not sick. She just wants control. Poor Nathan. His mother loves him, but it's almost like she's the one with the sickness.
Munchausen syndrome?
I don't think I've ever seen it this empty down here. Where is everyone?
Let's see, is that restoration staff slightly stronger?
Wait, what are these subjects doing out of containment?
I ain't a scared. I ain't a scared of no stuffs. What the fuck? Something has been done to these wolves.
Why are they like this? What has Cethiel done to them?
Wait, hold up. Are you telling me that Argonians are basically meant to be healers? Like, is that what I'm gathering from this? Let's see. Oh. Can I? No, I can't unlock these ones yet. I can almost do it. That's a big bear.
There. Are those research notes? Look around. Maybe there's something here that explains what happened.
Leaving Tel Driloth, I have come into some wealth due to the death of a distant relative, and have no need to work as a servant anymore. Mistress Driloth says I should not tell you where I intend to go. First, because she was always right about your condition, and leaving your wards will surely kill you. Second, because I mean to live out the rest of my days in peace and luxury, married to some rich stranger. It is what I deserve after all. Why does this sound like the fakest fucking letter ever? Been through, and how hard I have worked in the service of your mother. While I cannot say that I have ever truly loved you, I do not wish you dead. Do not come after me. Do as your mother says. She knows best.
What's that? It looks like a letter.
It's a fake letter, lady. Fucking Joan Crawford up in this bitch. Remind myself when doubt creeps like vermin into my mind. I was right. I am right. His death was not for nothing. My work will bear fruit soon. We are close to a breakthrough. We must be. Delman spore sample number 1105. More rapid breakdown on living matter than ever seen to date. Hostility of the spores increases with subject's acute emotional distress. I estimate double rapidity of necrosis since the acute emotional attachment noted starting with sample number 902. My wards may not hold if something provokes a stronger response. Precautions: super isolated quarantine and twice daily ward refresh until subject returns to emotional equilibrium. Based on the attachment and distress response in question, this may take quite some time and will cause quite the drain on my magic and energy. I will need to shrink size of wards for smaller confinement area. Will consider use of tranquilizing agents if contagion is breached or situation is deemed too dangerous. Test subjects acquired and caged, ostensibly ready for testing. Which brings me to my next point. Cure synthesis series number 69,000 or 6,905 to 6,999 blocked until I can find more reliable help. Regret dismissing Dacia, the house servant girl. But the situation was far too dangerous already. Where am I supposed to coax dependable help from? Slaves do not meet my needs and ask far too many questions. I've heard even Federo has trouble keeping on mercenaries these days. But I don't need a mercenary. I don't even need more lab assistants. I need another me, and I'd work on that problem, but I've had my hands full with this one for the last 20-odd years.
What did you find? Anything that explains what's happened? Let me see. No, I'd never write such a thing. Did Cecile write this? Does she really think this sounds like me? What did the research notes say? Spores? The researchers spoke of those. Little seeds on the air, invisible to the eye like flu or fever. I think that's how molds and mushrooms make more of themselves. Delman spore sample. Delman? Delman? What is that? It sounds like a name.
Was it the former husband?
It sounds familiar. I just can't place where I've heard it before. She mentions these toxic...
Was it Delman Drilloth? Could be wrong.
No. The observation outpost. What happened? Where is everyone?
Oh shit. No. Shroom Beetle, you will not escape me. I will take that, thank you. Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't use that. Do I have a chest piece I can replace that with? No. That's an armor glyph. Jewelry glyph. Let's change my appearance here real quick. Maybe a different costume. I don't know. I just... Something about the helmet just kind of throws the whole thing off, you know? A boob window for the guys. Yeah, that works. Oh, shit. Like, no lie, I am actually really enjoying this class. I am poisoned.
Tunche? Thank the 8 you're all right.
Daisha, stranger, you shouldn't be here. Too dangerous. Go no further. Spores nearly killed me. Barely exposed. Natural immunity. I will live. Heard shouting, then screaming. Everyone came running. Big mistake. Subject spores. Too strong. Wanted to escape. Mistress Dreloth. She coaxed him back to isolation. Delman, too strong. Stronger than I've ever seen. Delman, Mistress Dreloth's greatest experiment. The cure, the affliction. Delman did this. Trouble breathing, barely survived. The other researchers, not so lucky. Too late for them. Go no further. You could be killed.
I'm glad Tunche is all right. But he's just given us more questions than answers. I know he's one of her most trusted assistants, but if this Delman is one of Sathiel's experiments, how does Tunche not blame her for what happened here? I know, but... fetch it all! I just wish I could remember where I've heard it before. Delman. Delman. No, that's just the trouble. If Nathan had said or written it, I'd probably remember it exactly. Delman. Delman... It's on the tip of my tongue. Where did Tunche say Sathiel took the subject again? That must mean the isolation tower, where Nathan is. Let's keep going. I don't know what we're going to do, but Sathiel needs to be stopped.
Could this possibly be a fungus-based form of necromancy?
The researchers too? Gods, what has she done?
She created cannon fodder. That's what she done.
Wait, do you feel that? It's like we're being watched.
I've tolerated this incursion long enough. Whoever you are, you've fallen for Dacia's fanciful tale. And now you're enabling her dangerous obsession with my son. Nathan made his feelings for Dacia perfectly clear in the letter he wrote. Or was that vital piece of information kept from you? So what if I did? They'd both do well to believe it. They can never be together, do you hear me? Never! Leave this place! Forget all that you've seen, or you'll end up worse than Tunche. Delman? Where did you hear this name, Delman? Ah, I see. So your half-informed mind proves far more dangerous than an uninformed one. You cannot help. Leave this place, or I will do everything in my remaining power to stop you.
Delman was her husband. That's right. I must have heard it from her once, long ago when she first brought me on. He died from the Nahatan flu. The thing she's trying to cure. I've never seen her like this before. I don't know. Has she gone mad? Was she always this way? If so, she's been hiding it, and I can't blame her. If she were carted off to Gorn, she'd be parted from Nathan. The thought of it probably only made things worse for her. If you mean to heed Sathiel's words and leave, then I'll have to go on alone. Nathan is my whole world.
Okay, so, in theory, there was no flu. She absconded to her underground laboratory with her husband and began to run experiments on him to create whatever the fuck megaspores she's created here. Why? Because she's a fucking Dunmer.
You cannot fight the danger that lies ahead. This is your last chance. Daisha, turn back, or you may never leave this tower again.
Daisha, stay back. I tried to escape, but she was right. My mother was right about everything. Stay back from the ward. Mother says it's already in a weakened state due to the strength of my affliction. I don't recognize you, stranger. What are you doing with Daisha? Rescue? Then she really does love me? There was this note, you see. I was certain it was fake, but then I saw you and, well, I started to wonder. But I cannot leave. If you came through the caverns, you must have seen what I'm capable of. My father, yes. The affliction my mother gave me. She named it after him. I didn't know until I tried escaping. The wards were never for my protection. They kept others safe from me. If I had left with Daisha when we planned, she'd be dead. A living cure. A symbiote that protects its host with toxic spores. I would not be alive without it, and it would not thrive without me.
Oh,
All
what
these
the
years,
fuck?
She really has been trying to cure me so I might live a normal life. Why did I ever doubt her?
So now you know the truth. I'd kept this secret from Nathan his whole life. That he might not grow up knowing he was a monster of my own making. That he might keep his will to live while I sought a cure. After all, I gave him the Nahatan flu and cured him of that too.
Fucking Dunmer, man!
Delmin and I were trying to save the world. A promising fungal spore sample was on its way from Black Marsh when Delmin caught the very thing we were trying to cure. And I lost him. I had to know if the spores would have saved him. And now I know. Nathan came from me. I am enough of him that the fungal symbiote does not register me as a separate entity, and therefore not a threat to its host. That is when I named him. Delman Mycota. The cure, like love, that would be with us always. The truth is a poor cure for love. I did not want Daisha to share my fate of being shackled to Tel Dreloff by her own heartstrings. So I tried to drive her away. But since hers is a love that clearly cannot be cured, if Daisha is willing, I can safely inoculate her with the same spores I used on Nathan. She will share his affliction and his confinement. But they will be together, and she will want for nothing, except perhaps her freedom. Then she can make herself useful and help me find a cure. I'll hire her on again. I need someone dependable to procure rare ingredients to keep testing possible cures for Delman Mycota. Perhaps someday she can be one of my researchers. I've been studying Delman Mycota for over 20 years. If anyone can find a cure, it's me. I'm not about to abandon my life's most important work. There has to be something that can eradicate the fungus once it's disposed of the Nahatan flu. What does it matter if she and Nathan are able to live out their days together? I'd only prioritize curing her. But I am a researcher. I am not above recognizing the benefit of additional subjects with which to compare results. My researchers signed on with me because of my area of study. They knew the dangers of Delman Mycota as well as its potential. All that space in the labs was necessary for safe experimentation. I regret their loss, but they knew the risks. Or, if I had time to think of a more believable lie to tell the both of them. I knew they had been meeting for quite some time. When I overheard their plans to run away together, I had to act quickly, or else risk Dacia's certain death. Of course I did. I was glad for it at first. Dacia brought Nathan happiness. If only they could have remained content being in love, with the wards up between them. It was only when they doubted me that things got dangerous. And now, here we are. I suppose my research notes wouldn't give you the whole picture, would they? Tunche, one of my most devoted researchers, discovered it in a pool of brackish water deep within Black Marsh. Its capture and transport was quite the undertaking. When bonded inside the lungs of its host, Delman Mycota passively produces spores toxic to almost all non-fungal life, as you saw in the caverns. It seems to eradicate anything that might threaten the life of its host, including the Nahatan flu. It is sensitive to smoke, a herald of fire, which causes it to release reproducing spores in anticipation of finding a new host. These are the spores we would use to inoculate Dacia, if that is what she chooses. Correct. Somehow, Delman Mycota recognizes itself, and of course doesn't see itself as a threat. Argonians like Tunche are a different case, but only barely. Their natural resistance to toxins very nearly meets its match with Delman Mycota.
Nathan and I could finally be together. But the way to do so means becoming his mother's experiment. But I'd be safe, provided for. I'd get to dance and sing every day with the one I love. Some would kill for such a gentle life. Leaving for good is no option for me. My heart is Nathan's and his is mine. If I don't give up my freedom, I can help Sethiel find a cure. I'd get to see the world like I always wanted, but I'd be in her service. And I'd be alone. Life offers no guarantee of love either. But I found that, didn't I? I don't see it as giving up my freedom. I see it as a choice of how I get to show my love. But my heart is split. If you were in my place, which would you choose?
Yeah, fuck it.
If my freedom is the price of being with Nathan, then I'll pay it. To be with my love is better than having to wander the world alone. Thank you for keeping me safe, and helping me see the best choice, stranger. Here's your reward.
You're staying? Truly? Are you sure, Dacia?
I fought this hard just to get to you, Nathan. Of course I'm staying.
Oh. Alright, now how do I Amscray out of here? You know, the sad thing is, I'm pretty sure there are people out there who've already been like, guys, this is the meta build for the Arcanist. You know, those wonderful people who like to suck the fun and joy out of everything by min-maxing everything and itemizing and numberifying it. Stamina. Why is it always stamina builds? Fuck stamina. Okay. Damn it. Oh, wait. I am so dumb. Okay. Freaking itchy nose, man. Oh, there it is. let's see, I have 22 more points to invest. Okay. Just gonna crack my neck here real quick. Apparently I need to find the thief stone, but fuck it. Resume exploration. Jesus Christ. My knees! I know that telltale glow. Well, somebody's having an argument. And here we observe two Redditors. What's that? Do I smell another quest?
Well, that was a waste of time. No one goes to Salem Mora anymore, and now I can see why. Getting badgered by priests and buoyant armigers isn't worth seeing the one impressive relic they keep at the shrine. Is that where you're headed? The Shrine of St. Voorhees? Patron saint of House Telvanni? It's the only reason why anyone would go to Salem Mora. I stopped by to see the relic of St. Voorhees, but the High Priest wouldn't even let me get close enough to get a good look. I didn't stay long enough to find out. Apparently, it's an honor just to be in its mere presence. Didn't feel like anything special to me. If you're headed that way, maybe you can see what all the fuss is about. Good luck, outsider. You're going to need it.
That didn't sound ominous in the slightest. Hmm. No, I can't use those. Ah, yes, earrings. Uh, I think I'll go with. There we go. Yes, it has been a while. I would have streamed yesterday, but I was out of it. Uh-oh. Ah, fucker. It's like, unfortunately, right now we are entering our summer season, and because it is summer, we get, like, in my part of the country, it's like we get average daytime temperatures about, like, going off of Fahrenheit, our temperatures crack around like the upper 80s to low 90s this early on, but it'll soon crawl up to the low hundreds. Like, let me see something here real quick. Open up a new tab on my phone. So, like, a good example right now, it is currently right now it's like, if I was to say Celsius, it's 20, like 21 degree, or not 21, like 27 degrees. Oh no, so yeah, 27, and it's like 27 degrees right now. Tried to give me every excuse under the sun. Oh, come on, be nice. No bully. But no, and like it's been fucking baking lately.
This is your last heist, Lark of Rosgard. Mark my words.
The talisman of
The
Saint
Lark of
Maurice will be
Rosgard is so smug when he's got the high ground. He won't be so smug when he's level with my boot. And his little disappearing act. Let me get my hands on him and I'll make him disappear. That fetching thief has been a thorn in my side for far too long. He's planning to rob the shrine at Salem Mora of the sacred relic of St. Voorhees. I need extra hands if I'm to stop him. Yours could do. Are you looking for work? Stand in for me at the shrine and the Khajiit caravan nearby. Ask questions. Search for any clues or suspicious activity and assure the High Priest that I have everything under control. High Priest Treelan will be your point of contact at the shrine. Meet me here when you're done.
But no, it's like I've been kinda flipping a coin as to what game I kinda wanna stream. Like, I wanna finish Xenogears. That's a given. But like, there's Necrom.
Talisman's divine glory. From a respectful distance, please.
It's like there's Necrom, which is what I'm currently doing. There's Dead by Daylight, which, I mean, I've been kind of wanting to get back into Dead by Daylight. Still blows my mind that they're adding, of all fucking people, Nicolas Cage. Not as a character he's portrayed, but just as Nicolas Cage. But then on top of that, I also recently purchased the remake of System Shock, which I've never actually played the original System Shock, so it's like, that's been interesting to me.
If you're here to bask in the presence of the Talisman of St. Voorhees, I humbly ask that you do so out of arm's reach. If you have any questions about the relic's history, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
God, I want to break your jaw. What is it about Dunmer people that just makes me want to fucking hurt them?
Shh, not so loud. This is a very delicate situation. We need to ensure that what few pilgrims we have aren't scared off by any of this. Relossi hasn't exactly kept us apprised of her plans. What did she send you to do? Of course she did. That's it. I'm sending a priest to shadow her. After Relossi came through to examine the talisman, I've had to stand watch. I've made sure not to let anyone get too close. Especially, aside from you, there was one other, an Elder Khajiit who asked many questions. Without, I might add, the judgmental sneering typical of most outsiders. I cannot recall his name, but he was alone. I've heard the dangerous ones only travel in groups. I'm so glad you asked. This shrine has stood since the dawn of the Second Era. St. Voorhees believed that we honor our ancestors through the forceful expression of will over others. The gem within the relic exemplifies this belief. It was claimed in conquest during his march across... Not stole, claimed in conquest. The shrine is dedicated to exercising our forceful expression of will. We hope to someday unravel the hidden mystical properties held by the gem that eluded even the great Saint Voorhees until his death. Testing one's will on the talisman serves as a humbling reminder that forceful expression of one's will is an unending journey. Salem Mora used to be a haven for aspiring Telvanni, pilgrims eager to test their mettle. But alas, most come to visit the crypts. Few stay to properly observe the majesty of the relic. I cannot understand why. Admittedly, we have had an influx of visitors since this Lark character announced his intentions to steal the talisman.
Oh my god. Are you telling me this is one of those situations where you have a so-called phantom thief who shows up, announces their intentions intentionally just to draw attention and get more people to visit?
I'd hate to think that spectacle was the only thing calling pilgrims to the shrine anymore. And if the Lark succeeds, there won't be anything here worth visiting for at all. Please, make sure Relossi stops him, will you? me. Please step back from the relic.
Why are we stopping here when these dark elves lurk about the edges of our camp?
Oh, Shadea, you worry too much. Surely they mean us no harm.
I'm sorry. Who would mean her harm? She could rip someone in half.
What is it you want? Your nose is too close to my face.
How? I am an Argonian. You could squish me with a foot.
This one is called Shadea. She and her mercenaries are here only to protect the caravan for coin. This one dislikes this place and will remain no longer than she must. You have questions? Talk to the elder. This one knows nothing. This one is not in the habit of paying tithes to foreign saints. The elder may have gone, but he insisted others stay at the camp. Fine by this one, so long as she gets paid. Yes, a nosy walker came to spy and ask foolish questions, and Shadea was the only one bothered by this. Then again, the elder and his family are Bandari. They are used to being treated like criminals. Anything else, nosy walker? Stand a bit closer and find out. This one is quick with her blade and does not hesitate to stick it in those who ask for it. Pray that won't be you. Bother someone else if you're looking for a job, Walker. This one's band has no room to cut in another share. These peddlers can barely afford us as it is.
The hell you munchin'?
Luck be with you, Walker. This one is Elier Sodro, Caravan Elder. Our wares and coin are in short supply, but our camp is open to all who may seek to rest and be at ease.
See, this is why I like...
Seek that we may provide.
This is why I like the Khajiit. They are a chill as fuck culture, and they basically open their doors to just about anybody that hasn't broken their trust.
No. We Bandari are used to scrutiny, but rarely from such a distance. The dark elves in these lands seem colder than most. This is no matter. This one extends his warmest welcomes to you instead. The shrine. Oh, that shrine. It is a place holy to dark elves, yes? Of little interest to us Khajiit. This one is late in his years and does not remember. But he may have accidentally wandered through. Yes, that was probably so. Ask Shadea. This one thought it sensible to hire protection while crossing a land rife with slavers, and her sharp eyes miss nothing. And you are welcome to ask.
Toss! TOS! Come on!
At home among the Bandari.
I don't want to get in trouble.
As Bandari our travels take us wherever the roads may lead us. The roads happen to...
Then again, Twitch is a dying I say Twitch is a dying platform, and people will be like, oh, but Twitch has plenty of money. They're funded by Amazon. They got Bezos bucks. But at the same time, it's like, okay, sure, but Twitch has been constantly shooting itself in the face. Like, fuck shooting itself in the foot. They've been shooting themselves in the face. Straight in the face.
Shadea, this one has seen many years.
Especially when a lot of their bigger, streamers are basically saying, yeah, fuck this platform. Like, they're not leaving, but they are openly... Okay, they shoot themselves... Well, no, they could shoot themselves straight in the face. They're a corporation. Corporations aren't people. And neither are corporatists. Torchbug. Pewter. Random shiny thing. Wait, I'm a lizard. I'm not a fucking cat. Why am I attracted to shiny objects?
He's here. The lock is in the crypt. He just slipped past.
Did he, though?
I just saw him. The Lark of Rosgard. He's in the crypts. Just need a moment to catch my breath. I was setting up protective runes in the crypts when some swift priests came bumbling in after me and set them off. We were forced to flee when the spirits of the interred attacked us, and then the Lark of Rosgard managed to slither into the crypts. He's so slippery, there's no guarantee they'll even slow him down. Quickly, please. If you can help deter the spirits, Quickly, into the crypts! We can't let him get away!
Well, I sure do like a good crypt delve. I can English, it aren't that hard. Man, I wish I had, like, good glowing blue eyes for this set. But I don't have any of those. I've only got, like, the eyes of the scamp, the eyes of the spider, and the eyes of, oh god, now I can't remember his name.
Hurry! The lock can't be too far ahead!
You fucking jackass.
Tripped all of your protective runes. It's almost like they're working against you, Relasi.
No! Get him!
Oh, that's gonna bother the hell out of me. I actually have to look at my fucking collection. I don't care about the mail. My collection. Head markings. Sanguine, there we go. Jesus beam!
We can't let him...
Oh, quit your bitching, you'll be fine.
Relasi, who's your friend? Are you ever going to introduce us?
Quit running away, and I'll do more than that!
Oops, I turned myself around. Today we will be casting Fuck Your Face.
I'm not switching sides! I know that fetcher's here somewhere. Let's see if we can draw him out.
And the talisman is mine! You know, if you leave that replica where it is, the High Priest would be none the wiser. It could be our little secret.
No, no, no! How did he know? Nobody saw me. How could the Lark have known? He has the talisman. The real talisman. I made a replica of the original. Switched it out without the High Priest knowing. Then, I hid the real one down here to keep it safe. The High Priest refused my order to take the relic off display. He thinks it's safe as long as he's watching it. But the Lark could steal stripes off a cat. If I couldn't stop his heist, I thought I could at least trick him into taking a replica. That arrogant swit! And if that foolish priest hadn't prematurely set off my runes, I'd have clipped the Lark's wings and had him dead to rights. Tell me this isn't over. Tell me you found something useful. Something at the Khajiit camp, maybe. A story. Great. What reason would this elder have to visit the... Wait. Did you read this? His legend says the relic holds this Eye of Bandar. Fetch it all! I need you to get back to the camp quickly, before the High Priest intervenes. Keep an eye on that elder. If he's really involved, he may not know the danger he's put himself in. Believe me, even if only one of the Khajiit is conspiring with the Lark, the High Priest will make sure the entire caravan suffers for it.
Of course.
I'll see to High Priest Treelum. I'll assure him that you're in pursuit of our thief and everything is going as planned. If you...
I'm not entirely a fan of how long it takes to... how long that thing casts, but the damage is nice. Okay, so I really should be casting... or I should be charging up Conflux.
Go ahead. I'll meet up with you soon.
Also, speaking... now that... going back on a thought... speaking about Pride Month and all that, you know what's something hard for me to find? Fucking anything bisexual pride related. Like, the closest I've been able to find was like a little packet of 6 tiny bisexual pride flags. Like, I'm not all torn up over it, but at the same time, it's like, hello? Yeah. And the camp's been ransacked. Why am I not surprised? Fucking Dunmer.
Walker, help. Please. They're still alive in the ruins. Walker, Shadea kept pushing to leave. Elir Sudro insisted we stay. And then he told her everything. The relic, the thief, secrets we swore to keep took them to the ruins. The relic is the price of their lives. Too late.
Okay, so it wasn't the Dunmer. Still gonna blame them, though.
Everything went off without a... Wait. Where is everyone? What happened here? Did you do this? I knew Relasi was desperate to get me, but I never thought she... Shadea? Why did he tell her? That old cat is too quick to assume the good in everyone. And perhaps I'm about to make the same mistake, but I'll ask it plainly. Can I count on your help in rescuing my client and his family or not? You think the Bandari are paying me? They could barely afford to pay their mercenaries. The Lark of Rosgard never leaves a job unfinished. Simple as... Stealing is so inelegant a word for what I do. I prefer to think of it as reacquisition. And the simple answer is that some things are much better earned than bought. Trust, for example. When we get to the ruins, I need you to barter with Shadea. Do whatever you can to keep her occupied with the talisman.
I mean, I could melt her face off.
I'll do what I do best. I have some answers, but let's not go on too long. As much as I'd welcome seeing Relasi, I think it's best if we... You really don't trust me, do you? If you must know, I was waiting until you ran off to try and catch a moment alone with Relasi. If I had known what... Nothing. All the times we met before, there was this fire in her eyes when she pursued me. Now, I'll meet you at the ruins. Remember to keep Shadea talking as long as possible.
And here I was hoping I'd get to kill a Dunmer. It's like, why do you hate the Dunmer? Oh, no, it couldn't be anything like their joy of taking slaves, their innate hatred of every other race that isn't them. Like, when you discover that Red Mountain exploded... To say the least, there was no loss, there were no hurt feelings. It's like both. Oh, great.
This one will bleed out the other. Where is the thief?
Shadea, please. This one is sure that Walker means no harm. We can talk through this, yes?
You should have kept your nose to yourself, Walker. This does not concern you. What? Where did you... It does not matter. Give it to Shadea, now! with so many hands.
Just the casual conversation in the background.
For it, yes? Shadeya is losing patience. Toss it over now. What was that? No! Curse you, thief! No! You will pay for this, Walker. Surrender the talisman or the others die.
Please, Walker, save this one's family. Give her the talisman if you must.
That's Relasi. Follow my lead and play along.
Stop right there!
You've tricked me out of the talisman, but you'll never catch me alive!
Scoundrel, thief! Pariah curse you and hound your steps for all your days.
Well, that was convincing. Where are the others?
I have a feeling I'm gonna run into
This one has risked too much to...
We'll rescue you. Try to rescue you. Why can't I rescue you?
My thanks, Walker.
This one shall pay your favor forward.
You are a true friend to the Bandari.
You will not give the talisman willingly? Face Shadeya's blade and suffer.
This one has risked too much.
I will see myself out.
Oh, good. I was starting to get worried. The others just passed me. They're safe. Now, all that remains is to decide the fate of the Talisman of St. Voorhees. She wouldn't. The only person Relasi wants to suffer for this crime is me. And she still needs to catch me. Besides, if the High Priest knew about her little stunt with the replica talisman, she'd be finished. We've got that we can hold over her. Way ahead of you. While you were saving the hostages, I doubled back and managed to steal Relasi's replica off the High Priest personally. Serves him right for not listening to my favorite armiger in the first place. So I could give it to you. Will you honor the patron saint of House Telvanni by restoring his shrine's most beloved spoil of war? Or will you don the mask of the pariah and deliver them the replica? The choice is now yours. For everyone involved to keep their desired reputations, there is no one else I can trust with this decision. It has to be you. I mean, I know what I'd do, but it's in your hands now. As far as Relasi knows, you only have the original talisman. If you give the original to Elier Sudro and the replica to Relasi, she'll have to pretend it's the real thing, or get herself in a whole world of trouble by admitting how she lost it. Then you'll have honored the tribunal and saved the shrine of St. Voorhees from a fate of worshipping a worthless trinket with no real mystical properties for time immemorial. Or perhaps they'd be doing that either way. Who can say?
What they don't know won't hurt them. The Eye of Bandar has been lost for generations, and yet the Bandari kept its legend alive through stories. Is the faith in St. Voris so fragile that the loss of one relic would send it crumbling? That question, my friend, would be best asked of Elior Sudro. Though if you've heard the tale of his little ancestor, you may have some understanding of it already. See you around, stranger. And send my fondest farewells to Relasi, will you?
Yeah, we're gonna be giving the real... We're gonna be doing the honorable thing and actually giving the real talisman and return it to where it actually belongs. That is to say, not with the fucking Dunmer! Like, what was it? During the one... Like, there was one episode of Lupin the Third where, like, the whole entire heist was for a bottle from Napoleon's private vintage, which was supposed to be given as, like, some sort of honorable gift to the President of the United States. Lupin swipes the actual bottle, replaces it with a bottle of cheap crap, and Zenigata basically has to give the bottle of fake, of cheap crap to the president and play it off like it's the actual bottle.
This one mourns those lost when Shadea's greed overtook her. But we would have lost so much more if it were not for you, Walker. Ha! So, the fate of the Eye of Bandar falls to you. Whichever way you choose, Walker. This one asks only that you do not use what you learned today about the Eye to challenge the faith of those who serve at this show. This one grew up hearing the story of his little ancestor, sparing the life of her caravan by tricking the fiery one into his obsession with the Eye. Now, this one followed his own obsession and lost many. Ah, by all appearances, it is a simple gem trapped within a gilded talisman, yes? The Eye of Bandar is a relic traded between clans of Bandari. The holder may ask for any item, any favor within means, and the receiver must provide.
Okay, so it's a blank check.
Should you break it free from the talisman, you would see. It is moonstone, worth very little coin, yes? And yet, it is rubbed smooth and small from passing between the hands of my people. A symbol of indulgence and trading in good faith. You mean that the Eye of Bandar inside the relic has no hidden magic at all? By the code of the Bandari, such words would be unwelcome in the ears of those who follow St. Voris. They would cause harm, and so we discourage them. This one cannot say, Walker. This one only has the code of the Bandari to indulge the beliefs of others. Besides, to wield the truth in such a way would ruin the most fragrant mischief of the story of the little ancestor, yes? Walker, this one is at a loss for words. Our caravan will pay forward your generosity 1,000 times, but what will become of the shrine of St. Voris? Very good, Walker, very good.
And you know, thinking about it, giving them the fake talisman, it's something so very Khajiit.
you're back, just as we planned. The Lark got away, but the remaining Khajiit are safe, right? Then it's a victory in my book. Did you... I recognize my handiwork. I'll be a hero returning this to the shrine. It's a false victory, but no one needs to know that besides us. Take your payment. If we meet again, I hope it will be after I've taken the upper hand on the Lark of Rosgard. What happened today was a setback, but the knowledge is my burden to bear. No one needs to learn from it except me. I'll make it right by capturing the Lark of Rosgard next time. I swear it. I'll send a report to my superiors. I'll remain in Salem Mora for a few days, just to make sure it's safe. And then I'll likely be back on... Oh, I've always had an eye for that sort of thing. The sacred gem looked enough like moonstone that I made it work in a pinch. A little bit of weathering, using some basic spells, and that's it. Sometimes I wonder if I got in the wrong line of work. It's just being furtive and aware of your surroundings. I suppose I have some sort of intuition I've picked up from my work on... You know what? I'm going to stop this line of questioning right here. No. I get enough teasing about how good a thief I'd be from the Lark of Rosgard. I don't need it from you two. Now run along before I decide to change my mind about not taking anyone into custody for this case.
It is literally Lupin and Zenigata. Okay, got it.
Armiger Lalossi, your efforts in returning this relic to our shrine will be noted.
Oh, hey, look at that. I can actually unlock, Alright. We took care of that little situation. Suppose it's time we hit that dusty trail. Why do I have the feeling I'd probably be able to run faster on foot? Exploration. Essential part of any Elder Scrolls adventure. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you hit the delete button on a crocodile. Okay, so my Tron discs as well as my Jesus beam are area of effect spells. Nifty. Oh, you're a blood bug. Treasure chest. Fuck you, Kagooti. Do I still have my... Nope. What do we got here? Oh. No, no. No, 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 no. It's fine. Ignore me. Last thing I want is for something like that to reach up inside me and turn me inside out through my asshole. Oh, it's a player. And what have we here? If it's another zone altogether, I'm going to about face and go right back to where I was. Scrap itchy, itchy. What in the hell? Of course. Cliff Striders. I have been playing too much Tears of the Kingdom because I keep on seeing things and just going, I'll jump off and pop open my glider. Just stopping to remember, I'm not playing Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have a glider. I do take fall damage. Chop. Chop. I need to get somebody who can give me a ride into town so I can go to the grocery store and pick up a nice little supply, a nice little stash of Faygo. Some cola and some root beer and some moon mist. Maybe a few bottles of Red Pop. God, I love the environments and the, like, environmental soundscapes of Elder Scrolls games. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. It's like I am but a single person. I don't believe I could handle this, Ma'am? Where your clothes at? Oh, is that a Daedroth? So, got a Minotaur, 2 Salamanders, fucking Lightning Beetle, a Sentrat, and a goddamn Daedroth. No, I'm good. I'm good. Not about that life. I like my face exactly where it is. There is a sightseeing point. Oh, runestones. Is that a delve? Yes, that is a delve I see over there. And delves mean sky shards.
Why are all the writs for heavily guarded fetchers? I hope you don't work for my quarry. No, you don't look a type. Huh. I'd rather not have to do everything myself. How would you like to be a distraction? The Morag Tong are keen to see this writ taken care of, so there's plenty gold to share.
Morag Tong, huh? I do fancy myself a little bit of killing.
The punishment of Luafan Romavel. She convinced those Commoner Tong scoundrels to take Argonian soldiers hostage and force the Ebonheart Pact to pay a large sum for their release. I'm here to ensure that her plan fails, and she never hatches another. You're a distraction and a secondary measure. We cannot let either Luafan or the soldiers remain in their current positions. Free the soldiers and do something to draw out Luafan. Sound an alarm, make noise, but leave the kill to me. With you providing a distraction, this writ just got significantly easier. Kimona Rune is just ahead. Are you ready to see what traitorous cretins like Luafan Romavel and the Commoner Tong can do? Remember, you're my distraction. Make a commotion in there.
Making a commotion is what I do best. Okay, that's not true. That's an outright lie. What I do best is talk endlessly and whinge on about ancient games that nobody plays anymore. Oh, and write cheat engine tables. Let's see. How am I free captive Argonians and draw out Luafan Romavel? Luafan? Let's see here. But clearly somebody else has been here. You are free, my friend.
These smooth-skinned fools will regret capturing me.
Man, hearing the word smooth skin just makes me want to play fucking Fallout again.
trolls insulted me for the last time? Tied up with trolls?
Now, knowing delves, there's got to be a sky shard here somewhere. A sky shard and a boss. Well. Well, what have we here? Oh, that's a Nyx hound. Oh, that's cash. Cash money. I can buy an ultimate? Really? Oh, it's a healing ult. I don't want a healing ult. I am going to be pushing for medium armor, though. Melty beam beats fucking shovel. One, two, three, boom. That's the last turd out of you. Ah, it's up there.
I need healing.
No, you need a hearse. Come closer, closer, and burn. Alright, how in the hell? Oh. Maybe. Why are my frames dying? What the fuck? my god. There we go. You bitch! Interrupting my Jesus beam. How fucking dare you? Whenever one of you shitty little knife-eared bastards interrupts me, it makes me angrier. Okay, so what? Does the unblinking eye basically just like an orbital ion strike? Haha, ion. There we go. Ooh. Arcanist just looks at the Geneva Convention and just goes, yeah, how about no? Grab a pint of Bluebell Cookie Two-Step. Motherfucker, again with your interrupt. I recently found out that the grocery store nearby, while the Walmart I work at, we don't carry the gallon of Cookie Two-Step. We only carry the pints. The grocery store does. Like, it's fucking, or at least, to me, it's a good fucking ice cream. It's like somebody made a I want to say it's like some kind of vanilla, but it's basically like chocolate chip cookie dough mixed with cookies and cream, and it's just like, yes, this is fantastic. Thank you. Please try some. It's like I'm kind of a sucker for that stuff. It's like I happen to like chocolate chip cookie dough. I like cookies and cream. I think my ESO subscription just recently refreshed, which means I need to deduct that from my current holdings. Minus. Okay.
Where is that swit? Doesn't she know how inconvenient this is? Where is it? Oh, there. That gong. Ring it. She has to come see why it sounded. Ring it, and I'll introduce Lewathan to my blades.
I'll handle that after I get the last of the Argonians saved.
I thought I'd be tied up there for ages.
Oh. It's like I'm putting $100 in my savings.
Where is it? Oh, there. That gong. Ring it.
And if I can retain it,
And I'll introduce Lewathan to my blades.
oh Jesus.
Finally. I'll meet you outside. Free the prisoners if you haven't already.
It's like if I can retain that $100 that I put into my savings, because saving money is markedly hard for me. I have bad spending habits. Well, it's like, how do I put this best? It's like I have bad spending habits, and I'm also the only person in the house that I live in who actually, you know, takes care of the bills. So it's like what little I have, I try to, you know, get something to make me at least happy for a little bit. But it's like I'm going to put $100 this paycheck and $100 next paycheck. Well, no, not $100 next paycheck. But basically, I'm trying to see if I can save up at least $200 so I can get something that I've been eyeballing since I heard the first announcement from Bandai Official. Granted, I was going to buy it today, but I thought better of it and said, you know what? I can wait. Just put 100 aside for now and consider it next time. No, it's not Armored Core. I mean, that being said, I will be pre-purchasing Armored Core closer towards its release date. But I'm not going to be buying, like, the Uber special editions, give us all your money. Though it also depends on how much fucking FromSoft and or rather how much Bandai is trying to push it for. Because if they're trying to push the standard edition of it for like $70, I'm just gonna be like, because personally, I'm just getting sick to fucking death of all these corporations going like, hey guys, the standard edition of a video game, $70? It's one of the main reasons why I haven't bothered picking up fucking Diablo 4. Like, I enjoyed Diablo 3, and I know Diablo 4 is basically a lot of the same with a few tweaks here and there. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't want to spend $70 on the base edition of a game that you know they're going to add more shit to. Okay. Like, I'll basically state it like this. Diablo, like, just stating, like, Diablo 3 was...
freed by one. Do you think I'm just going to ignore them?
It was the first Diablo game since the first Diablo game that actually got released onto a console, and from playing it, if you played it on PC and played it on console, you could kind of feel that Diablo 3 was developed aimed at a console market. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, I got Diablo 3 for free, technically speaking, because Blizzard was running this campaign for a while where it was like, oh, hey, if you pay for this this much subscription time for World of Warcraft, you'll get Diablo 3 for free and Tyrael's Charger in World of Warcraft as a mount. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Blizzard hadn't tarnished their image yet. That's what's soon change.
Now, it's often we did our part.
And it's like, I just kind of sat there and I'm like, sure, fuck it, why not? And so, playing Diablo 3 on PC, it felt kind of like a really simplified version of Diablo 2 with a marked absence of certain favorite classes that people were more than a little pissed off about not being present. You know, it's like, where's the paladin? Where's the necromancer, the druid, the assassin? Where did they go? And like one of the first bad faith moves that kind of like, I don't know, motivated people to kind of start shitting on the game was more or less the fact that they introduced a auction house system to the game, which in and of itself, not a bad idea. Totally not a bad idea. I can get behind that completely. Let players sell players items. The problem comes with the fact that they also allowed you to use actual real currency for it. So it's like, oh yeah, players can turn a profit by selling items that they find in game or selling gold. And I'm just sitting here going like, wait a minute, hold up. You're literally turning the game into a gold farming scheme. But it's like after a while, the game just kind of turned around. You know, it was enjoyable. Then Reaper of Souls came out, which again, it was a good expansion. Didn't have much added to it aside from, oh hey, here's a new class, the Crusader, which was basically just Paladin, only using a, you know, it's like they added a new chapter, they added a new zone, they added the Crusader player class, which is like, okay, that's cool. It's Paladin 2.0. Gotcha. But then it's like, huh, you know, the whole entire theme of Reaper of Souls is, you know, death, decay, you know, death is inevitable, blah, 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 blah. What, isn't there a certain, I don't know, player class that you could have introduced that's all about that kind of shit? Like a necromancer? And like shortly into, I think it was either shortly into or shortly before the launch of Reaper of Souls, they were actually like, oh, hey, look, it's the Necromancer, except we're gonna make it pay for DLC as a separate thing altogether. It's like, okay, I don't like it, but at least my main class from Diablo 2 is back. Kind of a monkey's paw situation. So then when it came to Diablo 4, like I saw gameplay trailers, I saw like character class information, and it all looks very, very fascinating. But the price just fucking eats at my soul. I'm like, how in the fuck do you justify $70 for the basic edition of the game? We're still, how do you excuse $70 for a live service game? And you see, that's the thing that bothers me the most about Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, is the fact that at some point in the future, they will shut the servers down. Like, they will put a bullet through the head of the Diablo 3 server. And they will inevitably put a bullet through the head of the Diablo 4 server. And once that happens, you're not going to be able to play those games anymore. Whereas Diablo 2, at least the original Diablo 2, which you can still play. It's like the original Diablo 2, you don't have to have a constant internet connection to play them. And that's the way it should have been. You should have been able to play online and offline. But now I'm just rambling. Rambling, ranting, and remembering a bygone era of LAN parties.
Oh, good. Telhulen. Remember, a dark elf by a green mushroom in Telhulen. Tell her. Get to Telhulen. I'll draw off my pursuers.
And I think, like, one of the things I remember was everybody complaining that Diablo 3 was too different from Diablo 2. It's like, oh, it's different. I don't like it. And I'm just sitting there going, is it because it's too simple? Is that it? Is it because it's more, like, casual friendly? Is that it? Because, Diablo 2 is a... I want to be polite about this, because it's like, I do enjoy Diablo 2, but in terms of difficulty curve and learning curve, it's a fucking train wreck of a game. Because it's like, oh, you have sockets. We know what goes into sockets. Gems go into sockets, right? Oh, yes, but not just gems. Runes go into sockets, too. And runes can make rune words. And rune words can increase the power of your weapons or armor. And it's basically a fucking nightmare of min-maxing and just... bleh. Not to mention the fact that it's like, oh, hey, here's your skill tree. It's massive.
Any delay is unacceptable. We hired the Morag Tong to deal with this problem.
Bellow all you want. I know the effect I have on people. I either scare them or attract them, and they can't take their eyes off me. But few ever dare approach me, though only one chases the other. All right, it's obvious Folsey sent you, and she gave you the code of a courier. That tells me you have something for me. Go on. Folsey can fend for her. Folsey seems... Congratulations.
No, Sulis, I'm out of patience. We need this...
But I will say this much, though. I will say this much. The remake of Diablo 2, or remaster, however you want to look at it, like... it was done a hell of a lot better than that god-awful, abysmal slap in the face that was Warcraft 3 Reforged. It's like, Necromancer is a fun fucking class to play. Because it's like, with Necromancer, at least, like, I'm speaking from, like, Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 perspectives. It's like, in terms of the Necromancer, your whole entire shtick was, I am the pale guy who has an army of literally dozens of angry skelly boys, and usually a golem.
Word travels. What? No. It's locked for a reason? We servants don't have that much. Oh, I didn't expect you to be reasonable. That's refreshing. I can't...
You know, it's like skeleton, or it's like Necromancer, at least in Diablo 3 and Diablo 2, or no, in Diablo 2, Necromancer basically had 3 different skill trees. I'm trying to remember, I think it was like 3 or 4. Because you had Bone, which included things like Bone Armor, Summon Skeleton, Bone Prison. There was Poison, which had things like Poison Bolt, or, you know, Poison Nova. But then you also had Cursing. You know, curses and hexes. Then in Diablo 3, they simplified and streamlined the whole entire thing. So it was like you would have several active and passive skills that you could select from. A lot of the classics would still make their return. Summon Skeleton, Summon Skeletal Archer, Skeletal Mage. Or wait, I don't think they had Archer. I think they had Skeleton and Skeletal Mage. But then you could also summon a Golem. And it's like, depending on also, you know, spells like, hey, how about Corpse Explosion? That's always fun. But it's just like, all in all, Necromancer was just like, it was fun. It was twisted, but it was fun. And the class they chose to try to replace it with in Diablo 3 when it first came out was the Witch Doctor. And no. It wasn't the same. It's like, yeah, sure, Mr. Ekum Bokum can fucking chuck a whole lot of jars to send spiders out all over the place. Spiders aren't skeletons.
She wouldn't need those knives. Was that you rummaging around upstairs? If you're a new servant, then I hope you learn to respect other people's belongings. Also, and I'll try to say, well, last week, the heads I have, and I... Yes, and it's right in front of me. Have you been...
Like,
Hey, hero. Find anything pertinent to my writ?
there are 2 classes that I primarily play as in, like, Diablo 3. There's Necromancer, because skeletons and lots of damage, and Barbarian, because lots of damage. Lots and lots of damage. You're basically an 800-pound gorilla, you're made out of tungsten, and you destroy everything you so much as look at.
Notice how the servants around here love me. Notice how the servant... You brought me... Well, I'd say you'd found the source of the spell. But why go out on specific nights just to return with a jar of stink? Now that's interesting.
Not to mention, like, I want to say, in terms of mobility, the fastest moving classes in Diablo 3 were the Barbarian and Wizard. I mean, technically, Barbarian has kind of been one of those mainstay classes since the very beginning, well, I wouldn't say since the beginning, because Diablo, the original Diablo, only had 3 classes. You had Archer, Wizard, and Warrior. Very basic shit. And if you don't mind a little expose lore dump, it's like in Diablo 2, or in the original Diablo, you had 3 heroes. All 3 of them would eventually, in the lore, they would all wind up going into the cathedral and going into the depths to try to find where the missing prince was. However, it was the warrior who was actually I believe he was a member of the royal family. He went into the cathedral, managed to get all the way down to the very bottom, entered hell, fought his way through the forces of hell, found and banished Diablo, and then proceeded to, unfortunately, realize, oh shit, Diablo was actually my little baby brother who had been possessed by Diablo after the archbishop used his body as a conduit. But then he proceeded to take the Soul Stone, that sacred gem which contains the essence of the Lord of Terror himself, and proceeded to do the one dumb thing that would ironically be repeated several times over by multiple parties. He believed, I'm just, I'm a good person, I have the strength and wherewithal to properly contain this demonic entity, and proceeded to jam that son of a bitch right into his skull. Of course, after slamming Diablo's Soul Stone into his brain meats, he began to slowly but surely become corrupted by Diablo's influence, eventually Diablo completely overtaking him. And he became what was known as the Dark Wanderer. Everywhere he went, destruction soon after followed. For shortly after he left Old Tristram, demons emerged from the cathedral and proceeded to lay waste to the town. And he proceeded in a eastwardly direction, passing through and basically bringing bedlam wherever he went. Of course, he'd eventually pass through the fortress of the Amazons. These Amazons being part of a sect known as the Sisters of the Sightless Eye, whose main purpose was effectively, the Amazons were basically where the archer from Diablo 1 originated. And their whole entire job was to safeguard that passage. Well, to say the least, when the Dark Wanderer passed through there, yeah, he kind of fucked everything up. Lots of demons, lots of bedlam, and one particular demon decided to start playing havoc with the cemetery. The former rogue, the former archer, now turned demon, known as Bloodraven. It's like the heroine from the first game is now a villain in the second by the name of Bloodraven, and she's the first technical boss that you have to fight and kill. Not the chapter boss, just the first boss. Like, the first chapter boss you have to face is the demon, the prime demon that was left in charge, or lesser evil, actually, that was left in charge of the cathedral, or not cathedral, the pass, the citadel that the Amazons called home. The Mistress of Pain herself, and as far as I know, the only... Well, no, there are technically two evils that were female. Because you had Andariel, who was the Mistress of Pain. Or no, she was the Maiden of Anguish.
You look like a capable forager.
I think. It was either Anguish or Pain. Or was that... Because I know there was the two lesser evils were Duriel... Or was it Duriel? Or Burial?
You're a
Regardless.
Morag Tong agent, correct? Oh, that is a very...
It's like... The player character goes through and destroys her.
Outsider, a word. Hireling, I'm suspicious.
And proceed to Lut Golain. Wonderful desert. And it's like, who's set up shop here in Lut Golain? And why was the Dark Wanderer in Lut Golain? Now, it turns out the Dark Wanderer was not the only person who wound up being smart and going like, hey, I'm gonna take one of these demonically possessed by one of the most evil forces on Earth crystals and keep it on my person, because I think I'm a good person and I can keep it at bay. There was a Herodric elder by the name of Talrasha. Talrasha, along with his little Herodric buddies, decided, hey, Talrasha, you seem like a guy who's on the up and up. You're going to hold on to this soul crystal, which happens to contain the soul of none other than the Prince of, the Lord of Destruction, Baal. His soul is in here. His juju, his spirit essence, his being is entirely in this little crystal. You're gonna hold on to this. We're gonna strap you to a giant fucking pillar, and basically leave you alone in a fucking tomb, because we believe you can handle it. They were wrong. It's like over the course of many, many years, the location of the Tomb of Talrasha was lost to the annals of mystery. Which wasn't a bad thing. Now, the problem herein is eventually the Dark Wanderer made his way to Lut Golain. Because who knew that the greater evils could sense where each other were? And Diablo was absolutely hell-bent, no pun intended, on rescuing his sibling. And so, eventually, with Marius in tow, Marius chose to effectively aid and abet the Lord of Terror himself. What the fuck? Oh. It's like, chose to aid and abet the Lord of Terror himself in finding the tomb of Tal Rasha. Now, at this point, Marius was not yet understanding that he was in the presence of Diablo. He simply thought he was helping the Wanderer save somebody who was precious to him. So, eventually, they find the tomb.
Interesting. Let's talk with this in fresh air.
And before they can cross the bridge, in order to pull the crystal, the soul gem from Tal Rasha's chest, the Archangel Tyrael appeared. And of course, Tyrael kinda sits there, looks at Diablo, and goes, huh. You know, looks at the Dark Wanderer, who he knows is Diablo, and goes, no, fuck you. This is not happening.
Probably that's Bristleback. My next
And the two begin a fight. Now, while Diablo and Tyrael are having their little skirmish, their little kerfuffle, Marius hears the mumbled ravings of Tal Rasha, who is actually Baal puppeting Tal Rasha, because at this point, Tal Rasha's consciousness is completely withered away. Baal has basically completely possessed him, but he is still human in appearance. In the guise of Tal Rasha, using Tal Rasha's voice, Baal effectively begs Marius to remove the Soul Stone, claiming that it was a trick, that he was a prisoner, that the Herodric sages and the angels are actually trying to harm and punish him for nothing. And Marius, being ever lovable, ever stupid, gullible, fallible Marius, chose to pull the Soul Stone, 'cause of fucking course he would. Of course, the moment that Soul Stone is pulled, Tyrael kinda stops time very briefly, grabs Marius by the collar, tells him, okay, you fucked up. You did not just fuck up. You fucked up big time. And now you have to make up for it. Tells him that he has to go to the temple of, he has to go to Kurast. In Kurast, he will find the temple of the Zakarum. In the bowels of the temple of the Zakarum faith, he will find the gate to hell thrown open before him. He must go through said gate and find the Hellforge, for it is only in the Hellforge that a soul stone can be destroyed permanently. And so, Marius makes his way to...
Looks like we got to that letter. Now I complete my... I figured you'd want to witness the professional. The rules are quite explicit. Only the name of the writ is my top. Show Master Sulis.
It's like he made his way to Kurast, Meanwhile, Bale and Diablo decided to try to beat the shit out of Tyrael. But Tyrael is the embodiment of justice itself. He's not about to, you know, go down that easily. In the chapters of, like, in the missions for Chapter 2 of Diablo 2, in the desert, you will find an area which is known as the Summoner's Palace. And the Summoner is actually the wizard from the first game, now completely mad and corrupted by Diablo's influence.
Was there something?
No, what all?
Of course,
Now that Sulis knows an excellent point.
once in Kurast, oh, what's going to happen here?
I understand you have a spy in your employ.
So, now you know Sulis. Well, good for you. That and a few coins will get you a ride on the Silt Strider.
No use denying it. Assassin, complete your writ.
Then this is over. Tredethem. No! Master Phobes made me. I didn't have a choice.
Murder. Anyway. When Marius was traveling through Kurast, naturally he noticed, oh, bad shit's happening wherever I go. Sure enough, yeah, the Dark Wanderer was still following with him. And naturally, as is the way things go in the sad world of Sanctuary, it turns out the Zakarum High Faith got twisted. Real twisted. Only, it wasn't by Diablo's influence. There was another evil that was very present in Zakarum. The Lord of Hatred himself, Mephisto. And Mephisto had twisted the Zakarum faith to an absurd degree. Like, he played them like a tin fucking fiddle. And it was just as awful as it sounded. And so, naturally, Marius makes his way to the Hellgate and witnesses the Rite of Ascension, where Diablo, now at the height of his, ability to reclaim his power, proceeds to shed the prince's skin like a coat. Like, just absolutely sheds it off, sloughs off that skin like a bad sunburn. And turns into a gigantic, imposing, red demonic monster that just, like, congratulations, it's a monster. He's a big boy. He's a big, chunky boy. But, it's like...
Brigands. No, he's not.
The problem is, Marius was not a brave man. He was not a brave man by any right. So when it came time to pass through the Hellgate into Pandemonium and actually go to the Hellforge and destroy it, destroy Bale's soul gem, he kind of didn't. he bailed. No pun intended. But it's like he fucking bailed and inevitably found himself institutionalized. Because he was gibbering like a mad fucking loon. Inevitably, the hero, the player, proceeds to fight their way through the Hellforge. They kill Diablo, they kill Mephisto. And finally, they reach the Hellforge. They defeat the Forge Smith. They take his hammer. And they proceed to destroy both Diablo and Mephisto's soul stones. Of course, Bale is basically at this point moving through the world and moving across Sanctuary in disguise. And he finds the asylum where Marius is kept and proceeds to murder him before setting fire to the entire asylum. The events of Lord of Destruction take place. Bale manages to find and corrupt the World Stone. Bale's soul stone is destroyed, but at the same time, the World Stone is too corrupted, too tainted to be saved or cleansed. So Tyrael does the only thing he can think of, which is just destroy it. The events of Diablo 3 occur. The events of Reaper of Souls occur, because in the events of Diablo 3, you find out that all of the souls of the lesser and greater evils, after a evil was defeated in Sanctuary, their soul, so long as they didn't have a soul gem to re-inhabit, they would be pulled into the Black Soul Stone. And inevitably, the Black Soul Stone was taken up by
Missing components, and you cease to function.
It's like the
Locking this door behind me. You can see yourself.
Yeah. The Black Soul Stone was eventually taken up and researched by a girl who also happened to be the child of, oh god, what was her name? Adria? It's like she was a witch. Her mother was a witch, her father was a stranger. Her father was the Dark Stranger, the Dark Wanderer. Her father was Diablo. Oh, Siltasil. But it's like, inevitably, through researching the Black Soul Stone, there comes a point where you realize that this poor girl, who you have gone through several chapters to get to know, to get to, you know, to get to help, to meet, to help her basically grow up and find herself, you realize that she's basically just a conduit for Diablo to reincarnate. once the Black Soul Stone is completed. And that's exactly what winds up happening. It's like through ritual, through blackest of magic, the Black Soul Stone is used to give Diablo a new body to manifest into through the poor girl. And then we proceed, he proceeds to go to the high heavens and wreck shit. Proceeds to absolutely fuck up, oh shit, what's his name? It's gonna bother me. The impromptu leader of the Angiras Council. And then we kill him. Her. It. And then they take the Black Soul Stone and they go, okay, this thing is far the fuck too dangerous to be left where anybody can get their hands on it. We need to do the smart thing, be smarty McSmart, and hide it away from everyone, where only like a tiny handful of people who can be trusted know where it is. And then motherfucking Malthael shows up and says, hey, that's a nice Black Soul Stone you got there. Mind if I take it? Reveals, oh, hi. I'm now the Angel of Death.
I've studied countless specimens. None are without flaws, yet all achieve a sort of beauty. Is that it?
He takes the Black Soul Stone, proceeds to try to spread a miasma of death that will absolutely render all of Sanctuary unlivable by releasing the undead all the fuck over the place. Like, he completely destroys Westmarch. And then, during his fight with the Nephilim, he becomes so desperate to achieve victory that he destroys the Black Soul Stone to absorb its power. And upon his defeat, but has he ever been to the Cloud District? But it's like, or was it East March? I don't remember. East, West, it doesn't matter. It's the same shit. Blank March. Anyway, when the Nephilim destroys Malthael after he has consumed the Black Soul Stone, it literally basically sets up the precedent that, oh fuck, this thing has been destroyed. This thing which was acting as the prison for the most evil things ever known to humanity. So now these things can, in due time, reincarnate.
Given time, your joints will wear down. Your precision footpads will bend and crumble. But in this moment, and only this moment, you are perfection itself.
Self-repair was the only way the Creator could circumvent inevitable deterioration.
Reincarnate these nuts. These nuts. And I'm only assuming, because I haven't really looked too terribly much into, like, the current state of Diablo 4, but it's like, I'm assuming that the greater evils and the lesser evils that have revived, I'm assuming, like, I'm assuming they're all big bads, like, they're all villains. You have to effectively kill them. Like, there was a animated, like, one-shot that really did well to kind of point out just how good Diablo is at doing, you know, at what he does. And it was called, like, I think it was just like Diablo 3 Wrath. And it kind of, it just like shows that you know, it's like, given the right mindset or given the right amount of time to study his enemy, Diablo can easily manipulate, like, twist and manipulate a person to do exactly what he wants them to do. Because it's like, in Wrath, it's shown that, like, the rest of the Angiras Council was more than ready to set up a trap to ensnare and permanently bind the Lord of Terror himself. But he got into friggin' what's-his-nuts' head and pissed him off to such a degree that instead of just letting him be bound, he killed him. Which, of course, just leads to his future reincarnation. And it also created a fracture in the Angiras Council.
Apostle's Journal available. Talk to me while my connection is restored.
This is Entry 1. I spent so many years idolizing Set's perfect creation. Entry 2.
Laboratories. Through the door.
Although I am curious, is Tyrael still alive in Diablo 4? Like, how many years after Diablo 3 does Diablo 4 take place?
Protus, you're active?
Halt, Apostle. You won't reach the probabilist.
Your hypothesis is incorrect. This will only result in catastrophic failure.
Because it's like in Diablo 2, where we were first introduced to him, he was mostly just like, oh, this is Tyrael. He is an archangel. And then in Diablo 3, we are made aware that's like, okay, Tyrael was the archangel of justice. He was the embodiment of justice. And he served on the Angiras Council as one of its leading members. And then through the events of Diablo 3, he chose to... Effectively, he ripped his own wings off and rejected his angelic heritage and instead chose to live as a human.
We must stop him before his actions cause irreparable damage.
Although technically he was brought back into the fold of the council, but still as... I'm assuming he was still a human by the end of Diablo 3. It's just instead of representing justice, he now represents... he basically took up the mantle that Malthael once held.
We arrived too late. Apostle Nilfosclaven activated the probability.
The probability is active. You think you can stop me now? The likes of you won't stop me.
No.
Why won't you let me fix what you couldn't? What have you done? I wasn't going to.
It works. I knew it would, but combining mnemonic fragments in this way is complicated. Hello, mortal. I am a memory gestalt facsimile. So the seal in all but flesh. I see Nilfus Drayton's bid for control over the probabilis is over. Good. He lacked the capacity to understand it. Even as a mnemonic fabrication, I know that many will take issue with my work.
That was East March, now that I think about it.
Drayton tried to reconcile his beliefs with reality, and his answers fell short. He left to false conclusions, as he was always going to. I could not...
Pretty sure.
Just as he could not stop himself from committing this act. Cause and effect are matters of fact. Now
No, it was West March.
Protus will receive
East March was Elder Scrolls.
When we are
West March is the right one.
Your work here is complete. I thank you for your service. If you would not mind returning to Thorin Armus, please tell him that his presence is no longer needed in Kemel-Z. He is mortal. Mortals can be swayed to endanger the security of Kemel-Z. I'm sure Thorin Armus will quickly be assigned to another sacred site. Do not fear. Without Nilfis Drathan to guide them, the painted eyes, I cannot say. It may only... not me. The creator, Sotha Seal, did. My directives must be detailed and precise as I oversee...
Oops. It's like, it's something that kind of bothers me a little bit about, like, the whole entire... Or faster exit. Oh, there is. Okay. Like, it's one of the things that kind of bothers me about the whole Diablo mythos compared to the Warcraft mythos is that, like, unlike Warcraft, they haven't really done a whole hell of a lot with the Diablo mythos. Because you've got, like... what? 4 games... and a small handful of books. Of course, some people would be like, oh, but they don't do anything with StarCraft either. And it's like, I'm sorry to say this, but there's already an expanded space universe out there that they more or less copied beat for beat, but it's a long story in that case, which is, you know, 40K. Considering that StarCraft originally started its life as an attempt at a 40K game. And anybody who can't see the correlation between the two, it's kind of like, come on. Like, when you go into the woods, do you only see grass? Funny thing is, though, is like when I was younger, I was like a die-hard Blizzard apologist, and I was just like a die-hard fanboy. It was anytime somebody would say it's like, oh, they're copying this, or they've heavily they've lifted several notes from this. I would sit there and just be like, that's not true. That's not true at all. You shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And then years and years later, I would stop. I would actually, like, learn about 40K. I would learn its world. I would learn its lore. I would look at StarCraft and go, ah, fuck, they were right. This is, like, unashamedly the same fucking thing. It's like instead of the Imperium of Man, you have the fucking, damn it, the Imperium of Man. Or it's like instead of the Imperium of Man, you have the Terrans. Instead of fucking the Eldar, you have both the, the... Give me a second. Oh, ow, 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 ow. It's like you have the Protoss, both the light and the dark Protoss. Instead of the fucking Tyranid, you have the Zerg. It's like the only things that really are changed is the fact that the Terrans aren't nearly as horrifyingly xenophobic and religiously impassioned, even though you're not allowed to say it or question it, as the fucking Imperium. I just, like, I would love to see a day and age where we get to, like, hear the thoughts of the Emperor of Mankind as he sits there just, like, screaming mentally at the top of his lungs because the very group of people that, the very nation that he helped found is doing the exact thing that he told them he didn't want them to do. It's like, we all understand, no gods, no religion. We are very much anti-boogeyman. And ladies and gentlemen, the Imperial cult. So that loud rumbling, was that like a storm or was that Red Mountain? Useless fact of the day. When I started playing World of Warcraft, I was fresh off, or I was still ongoing and playing almost non-stop Morrowind. And so, the first character that I actually decided to stick with and play, which was a Night Elf warrior, I named her Moonmoth. Because Fort Moonmoth is where I would constantly go and wind up in Morrowind.
You should know.
I can't do that. Public dungeons are fine and all, but I'd get my ass kicked. 'Cause I'm alone. Besides that, I've got to get to a town with a stable and shit so I can actually save, or not save, but like find a safe place to log off for the day, because I've got to get some sleep. It is 2:09. I go into work tonight, so fun, fun, fun.
Hands off, or I will gut you like the rest. What? Never seen an assassin get put out of work before? You're not one of these third-rate assassins. Targets, inbound. And listen, don't mention me to Han. It probably won't do you any favors.
Jesus Christ, you're big.
You ever deal with Merc?
Please, Han. They're not just flowers. They're...
Surely a man of your talents can grow more. Now, move. Others wait in need of my... Your face isn't familiar. Raynilla Treveri. Really? All right, don't get so touchy, Fla. Raynilla was through recently. I can tell you what I know. Braylin and... I don't. Be quick about it. Meet me at the tavern when you're done.
Where is a fence? Oh, downstairs.
I don't care much for grave robbing. I won't ask where your goods are from, but you won't catch me cracking open a tomb. I've got my own ancestors to worry about.
I can pawn these off.
You, over here.
Given the nature of the...
No, wait, I have to sell the... Duh, I'm an idiot. I need to sell these to a fence. There's a fence upstairs. I ran right past him, didn't I?
We stay to the shadows, but pull.
Nice 400 gold. That's not a bad find. That's not a bad buy at all. Before I actually log out, I need to find the stable master for the settlement so I can upgrade Ow, my nose. Upgrade probably my riding speed first and foremost. Okay, so where's the...
Adventurers wanted. Fly here.
The tribunal pays well.
If you're willing to work, I'm ready to hire.
No, where's the... Where's the fucking stable master? Unless there's an entrance to a building I didn't see.
The necropolis is closed? That's never happened before.
We keepers of the dead understand your frustration. I'm sure the abbot will sort things out in no time.
Why would it have the map show me I was right here and then working as intended, right?
Don't ask me about a beast unless you're equipped to ride it.
I love visitors. Unfortunately, we're...
Isn't there a quest I can actually finish here real quick? Ah, that's right. I don't so much talk about things so much as I ramble until somebody tells me to shut up. Or until it dawns on me that I might be over talking. Lizard.
You have a look. Empty rooms are just bad for business. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the hope the room is to your liking, with your reputation.
I would, but unfortunately I've got to work tonight. Unless I want to push this for... No, it's 2:23. It's almost going to be 2:30. I'm only going to get about maybe 6.5 hours of sleep in, if that. Because knowing my dumb ass, I'm probably going to lay in bed and play my frickin' Switch for a bit. Let my sleep meds kick in. I don't know if I like that. No, I don't. I'll probably use that on one of my other characters, but hey. see, where's my collection? And I know exactly what I'm going to be putting in here. Oh, goodness. I don't know, it's like, as much as I like to say that I'm open whenever for a collaboration, it's just like, because I constantly have to take certain medications for, like, I take medications for sleep, I take medications to manage pain, and unfortunately when the two are in conjunction with each other, long-term use has kind of led to a constant brain mush. And working overnights at a job that I hate, that just sucks all of my mood out the window, like opening the goddamn airlock in a space station. Like, I'm constantly stuck in a malaise of, like, dumb fuck brain mode. I'd have to... Oh, God. I'd have to figure out how all that stuff works, and then I'd be more than happy to send it to you. What was I gonna do? Oh, right. All right. That's so stupid. Anywho. I'm gonna call it here. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably gonna maybe do some more Xenogears. Gotta remember to pick up a 12-pack of water before I go home from work tomorrow, though, because talking a lot hurts my throat. So, yeah, I can't play Mr. Narrator if my throat feels like I've been trying to deep throat sandpaper. So, I'll be back tomorrow.